When it comes to 3D printing, I am the opposite of an expert. An idiot. Also known as a beginner. I have never used a 3D printer, I have never 3D printed anything. But I have just received one of these. The Bambu Labs A1 Mini. And today, the plan is to go over the setup and just see how long it takes for someone who's never done this to do this. See what hurdles come up, see what problems there are, and hopefully this printer is as good as the reviews tell me, and hopefully this is useful to someone else. So let's begin. Right, step one, we're out of the box. Brilliant, things have gone actually much quicker than I expected. Just a quick one, I have a background in CNC engineering, mechanical engineering and manufacturing. So I'm not a complete novice to 3D printers, CNC machines. But this is not about me, it's about it. So let's keep going. Right, so here's what's in the box, other than the printer. The printer all came out in like one big lump, which was really convenient. Lots of packing. There are bits everywhere. Don't do what I've done and just rag it apart, because I keep finding things. Oh, that's just packaging, never mind. It came with that. I don't know if that's if that's the LED light element and you get to print the lamp. Maybe, I don't know, I didn't buy that. Some PLA basic, which I assume is just to get you going because, well, it's no fun buying a new toy and not being able to use it. And then some sort of tubing. Some sort of protective tubing. And then there are a few other pieces. I think you just saw me clip that little clip thing on, only because I've seen pictures of it and I was like, oh, it lives around here somewhere. This spool holder we will work on later. I did as well. I'm very prepared. In fact, I got too excited. This thing's been delayed about 2 weeks. I ordered some, with the original order, some matte grey PLA. I'm told that that's just the base, that's the entry-level filament, so I'm sticking with that. And then also, one of these, which is from Elegoo from Amazon, 4 1 kilo spools. There's a black, a white, a grey, and a clear or a transparent. Because I thought, look, I'm going to need some filament. And they're about £15 a roll normally. This was 48. And when you think about that, you're like, wow, 12, 24, 36. Yeah, it's £12 a roll. That's not bad. So I'm told. Time to actually read the instructions now. Because we've done the easy bit. We just don't need to do the sensitive bit wrong. Oh, you're lying. So, in my stupidity and haste, there should be, what it says, is an accessory box, which on there just shows a rectangle, which tells me very little, and also it's not on that picture, so I didn't know what to look for. It will be in this room if it's here. If not, then off to the garage to get some tools, I guess. I can only assume that's it. Oh, right. Where were we? Right, so we need Allen keys out of the accessory box. Cool. So that's also rubbish. Right, so what have we got? Oh, that's bizarre. I think that must be the unclogging tool. Hide my face, show you the thing. It's very fine. It looks like an acupuncture needle. That is a surprisingly long Allen key. Anyway, you didn't need to see that. I'm too excited. There's other things that I need to not pull in bits. Right, that's some sort of for purge wiper. It's new to me. Lubricant oil. I know that CNCs need lube, but what, where and why I don't. So, the guide. Right, so I've cut the cable tie off in my haste. We saw that bit. And I need to unscrew this plastic bit. And the only reason I knew about this plastic bit is because everybody's mentioned, make sure you unscrew this plastic bit because it looks like a real piece of the equipment, but it's not. It's just packing. That bit there. Just this piece here. Well, that was stupid. I'm thinking he's turning upside down. No, the screws are in the top. You just take the heat bed cover off. Yeah, maybe don't move the x-axis by hand as well. Yeah, it's not. Whoops. Well, it turns out this little screw for the purge wiper is for that part I clicked in. And yeah, it just needs screwing in. Couple more screws. Put that spool holder on the side in the same holes that the packing came on. Genius. I'm quite surprised that it's time for power already. All I've done is like stick some bits on it. Yeah, let's get it plugged in and going, right? The plug is too short. It's inconveniently short. Right, here's what you didn't see in the last 5 minutes. So a QR, I've plugged it in, turned it on. I've not touched anything else. Like that's just as it was from the instructions out the box. I've finished the instructions. It told me to turn it on. It said leave a good bit of room behind, but at the same time, if you're buying one of these, you'll see that. It's not up to me to protect your printer or your walls, but be careful. So I've turned it on. It booted up. I had to sign in with the Wi-Fi, connect the printer. It made me connect and sign up on the Bambu app, which apparently from what I've seen can be quite good at remotely printing things. Like you can send something to print while you're out of the house and you can come home and have it done. So I'm told. I don't know yet. But yeah, other than that, it's been okay. I'm trying to think of any little tiny problems that I had. The only time I messed that up was when I turned it upside down because those screws were hiding. Other than that, I'm shocked how fast that's been. I'm going to have to check the recording time, but I think that's only been like 20 minutes. Half an hour from when I decided to bring the box upstairs and make a start. So, quite impressed. Right, we're all set for calibration now. I don't know what this requires, but we'll find out. Let's do it. Right, so it said it wants to calibrate. It's sending everything home. There must have been maybe 3 things that it wanted to calibrate. One was like 3 minutes, one was like 5 minutes, one was like 15. Something like that. So I'm looking at like 20 minutes to half an hour. But then again, I don't have to calibrate it. It calibrates it. And one clever thing I did here is it doesn't have any speakers in it. So when it makes its little jingle, it does that using the motors. So I don't know if it spins up the motors in at certain frequencies. That is incredibly impressive. And this, I believe, cost me, was it £169? About 150 quid, if not just a touch more. Which is shockingly good, to be honest. So, another thing worth mentioning, when I'm running this, it's literally just on an IKEA table. I have felt the vibrations in this table already while it was doing its wobble test. But as far as I'm aware, it does its wobble test and it finds about, this might just be nonsense, but this is my idiot interpretation. It does the wobble test and it finds out how much the wobble is. So when it moves in rapid at certain speeds, it can compensate for that wobble. That could be BS, but I hope that's true because that sounds ace. It's on a very wobbly table. It's doing the bed leveling now. It's done the nozzle clean. It's clearly doing a full setup. And it's been about 15 minutes and it's just doing its thing. It's really nice though because you can leave the room and go elsewhere and it's not very noisy. That's a big pro because only there's the bathroom next door and then the bedroom after that, I've got twin girls age 2. So it'd be nice if I could, not start my day any sooner. So what it's doing now is quite interesting. It's going through with each motor, sending it back and forth at different speeds to calibrate its own noise cancelling system. I don't know how this witchcraft works, and I don't know how they put things in like that for £160. It's shocking. And yeah, it's just dancing up and down, showing you when the noise cancellation's on and off. God, the difference is remarkable. The only thing you really hear is the fans. You hear a little bit of a, not a whistle, just a, I can't replicate the noise for Bambu A1 minute, but you know what I mean. It's very subtle. To be fair, one area that I do have expertise in is the maintenance of a CNC machine. So it's said to lubricate the y-axis. Don't forget, X is a cross. In other words, X goes left to right, Z is up and down, and then Y is front to back. And yeah, so we've lubricated that. I now have grossly tacky fingers. I think we're ready to print. I don't really know how to, but I'm sure they'll tell me. So let's do that. So I'll be honest, I don't know how to do a print yet, but I'm just going to keep winging it and following the instructions roughly. It says, I clicked on the bencher, which I think is just a benchmark. I think it's a small little boat. Cool. We will make a bencher. It said 20 minutes, it needs PLA. So I think what we will do is, starting out, use the Bambu Labs home brand real deal stuff because, well, you'd think their own product would work best with their own product. So, right, comes on a nice little spool. I've seen a lot of people say to save these, the little do not eat silica gel packets, because when you're storing your filament, it wants to be dry. Apparently dry filament is where it's at, and wet filament is bad. It's day 1, hour 0, so I'm hoping that there's no wet filament, but I don't know, we'll find out. It's making some noise. It's rattling and vibrating. The only thing that I should have done, and this is just due to excitement, and this is exciting, I didn't look up the guide on where to put the filament in the top. I'm hoping it auto reads which one's got filament in and just makes a start, but oh, it's doing something. Look at this. So one thing I did take for granted was how it needs to preheat the print bed. Yeah, so it seems to just be getting warmer. It says minus 16 minutes. I don't know if that is the time for the whole print or whether that's just time for the warm-up. Honestly, we're all in the dark here. Something that I have seen recommended everywhere is to put PVA glue, basically just a glue stick, onto the, I don't know, making space. I don't know what that's called yet, the tray that pings off. Yeah, so if you put glue onto there, it helps the adhesion, so it helps the first layer stick down. The first layer can corrupt the entire print. If it lifts up in the edges or if it doesn't stick right, it can do the first layer of a 5-hour print, get it wrong, and I'm not sure what fail-safes are in place to stop you wasting 5 hours of filament, but maybe none. I don't know what it's doing, but it is the first run, and as far as I'm aware, it's really valuable to create a little filament poop catcher. There you go, see it just flick that off. It's worth making a little tiny box as one of your first things. It's doing it! Oh, that table is wobbling like crazy. That's so funny. Yeah, I don't know if that's too wobbly. Look at those plants. It's like it's windy in here. That is so fast. That is unbelievable. I don't know how noisy it is either, but it's mainly fan noise. You can't hear the motors really. But I might need to screw this into the wall because this is chaotic. I think the problem is it's just way too fast. But then again, it's only lightning fast on the infill, which is the middle bit. And the middle bit never gets seen. That's as good as gone. You only see the outside edge, so the fact that it's doing that nice and calmly that's a positive. Maybe this is all part of the design. We're done. Look what we made. I'm joking. So we made this little Botamundo, still stuck to the build plate. The build plate is hot, but not too hot that you can't touch it. I believe it's best to let it cool down, but again, I don't know enough to... This is not a guide. This is an idiot setting up a 3D printer, hoping it goes to plan. Turns out it doesn't matter which of the 4 holes in the top you put it in. I put it in the back right. It was a 1 in 4 that was the right one, or it just takes any, which is great. So, right, we've pulled that off. Right, I'm really impressed with this. I really like that filament. The matte grey is lovely. Considering how much that table shook, this is remarkably accurate. If you look at just the radius on this boat hull, yeah, there's a few lines that run around it. But like I say, given that I'm not a 3D printer, I don't know how normal that is, whether that's something that can be, it could be in the model, probably not. Probably my wonky-ass desk. But we did it. We set a 3D printer up and made it work. And it's probably only taken me an hour and a half, and that's making this at the same time. So, yeah, that was a breeze. Like I say, though, I'm shocked, 1, how fast it is, and 2, how much it rattles and wobbles. It's so powerful for such a tiny little device. I'm really impressed. And now I need to make some more things and show you give you an idiot's guide to making useful things on a 3D printer in your office or spare bedroom. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to go make some more things, and I'll catch up with you in a future video. Adios!